Luna was a small gray shelter cat who liked to stay close to people. Callie was still a baby then, quiet in her car seat, just watching the room with wide eyes. Before they found each other, Luna spent her days in a shelter that always sounded a little busy. Doors opened and closed. People walked past her cage. She waited without much fuss and curled herself into small spaces whenever things became too loud. Not long after Callie was born, her parents visited the shelter to look for a cat. A worker brought Luna into the room, and before anyone said much, she climbed onto the baby's car seat and settled there as if she already understood something important. Luna was calm and careful. Callie was curious and unsteady in the way babies are. One stayed still and watched. The other reached for everything nearby. When the family brought Luna home, the house stayed quiet for the first few days. At night, Luna moved softly through the hallway and slept near bedroom doors. Sometimes she hid under chairs. Sometimes she watched from the corner of the room while the baby slept. But even then, she kept drifting back toward Callie. The family noticed it slowly. If Callie was on a blanket, Luna sat beside the blanket. If the baby napped, Luna rested nearby without making a sound. She followed at a small distance, almost like she felt responsible for keeping track of her. At first, everyone stayed careful. They watched closely. They moved Luna away from the crib whenever they needed to. They worried the baby might pull too hard or scare her. Still, Luna stayed gentle. One afternoon, Callie grabbed a little too much fur in her tiny hand. Luna only looked back at her and waited quietly until someone helped loosen her fingers. No hissing, no running away, just patience. That seemed to change something in the house. After that, Luna became part of nearly every small routine. Morning bottles, afternoon naps, floor time in the living room, late evenings when the lights were low and everyone was tired. She always seemed to be nearby. Then one night, the baby camera sent a notification to Callie's mother. She opened the app expecting to check on the room for a second before going back to bed. Instead, Luna was inside the crib. She had curled herself carefully beside Callie, rubbing against her softly while the baby slept beside her. The camera sat close to their faces, and for a moment they both looked toward it together, calm and completely comfortable. By then, Luna already knew the sound of footsteps coming down the hallway. Usually she slipped away before anyone opened the door. But that night she stayed for another second, tucked beside the baby like she belonged there. And maybe she did. As the months passed, the house found its own rhythm around them. Luna slept with the older kids sometimes, but she always wandered back to Callie. In the mornings, the family often found the two of them sitting side by side on the floor, both still waking up slowly. Nothing about it felt forced. One day the family realized they were no longer watching closely every minute. Luna was no longer the shelter cat. She was simply Callie's cat, moving through the house like she had always lived there. The change had happened quietly, in small pieces, over ordinary days. Trust rarely arrives all at once. Sometimes it grows by staying near each other long enough for things to feel safe. If this small story stayed with you, please like, share, and subscribe so more people can find these quiet moments too. We'll keep sharing gentle stories about animals, people, and the slow ways they learn to belong together.